Wilson Morales from Black Women TV, talking to Nikki James about directing an episode on The Good Fight. And I saw that you earlier had directed an episode on The Bite. So my thinking is you got a good relationship with the Kings that they said, okay, come back and do another one. How did this come to?
That is exactly what happened. So, I was on The Good Wife and I did Brain Dead with them. And I also get to come back every once in a while and play in the sandbox on The Good Fight, which, in my humble opinion, is one of the very best TV shows on television. I think that Michelle and Robert and everyone over there, Brooke Kennedy included, are continuing to tell complicated stories in really innovative and exciting and funny and heartfelt and strange and bizarre ways. And I dig their politics. So I had been directing a little bit of theater, as you know. I directed once on I assistant directed once on this island, and I've been chatting with everyone over at, The Good Wife and The Good Fight and letting them know what I've been up to. And when the pandemic hit, Brooke Kennedy called me and she said, I know you're dabbling in directing. I think it's something that you should continue doing. And we have this idea for a mostly Zoom television show. So it will be a great, easy, sort of kiddie pool entrance for you into TV directing, and I will mentor you. And I said, I am not a dummy. Yes. And I shadowed her and I put myself into TV directing boot camp. And, I've been on film sets for a very long time in my life, and I understand storytelling. And I certainly know all of these actors, because they really wanted to put some theater actors back to work. That was one of the impetuses, was with theater shut down for still shut down in New York. We're now 15, 16 months in. They were like, this will be an amazing opportunity to work with all these actors that we never get to work with because they're doing 8 shows a week, in Midtown. So, and then Brooke's idea was, we can also give, this theater artist, me, this secondary opportunity, which is to be behind the camera. And I was floored, and I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life. The conceit of that show, it was early days. It was designed in the early days of the pandemic protocol, where the actor was not allowed to be on the floor with any other technician other than the director, which means I was, my crew would set up the cameras and then they would go away and they would be in a control room where they could hear me, via this sort of nanny cam. And Peter Nolan, our first camera operator, would say, can you walk to the D camera and shift it and zoom it? I had to do all the slates myself. I was resetting props myself. I was helping Audra with her makeup. I mean, I was doing everyone's job. But we made this amazing piece of television, this really innovative, cool way, and during a really rough time. And I guess they liked it enough. And were pleased enough with my work to let me dive into the deep end and direct, an episode of their baby.
So with this episode that we're seeing, what's the plot line of this episode?
So what's happening now is they are in a more post-pandemic world than we are. And Jay, their investigator, is helping them investigate a wrongful death suit that a very powerful drug kingpin is holding against a hospital over the death of his daughter. And during pursuing this investigation, Jay, who had also been in a hospital with COVID, finds out just how bad it was for him. It starts to spark memories, and he's having these flashback moments of being basically sort of left for dead. And this is a thing that was happening, I'm sure, in lots of hospitals all over the country, especially in places like New York that were hit really hard and really fast and really early on, when we didn't have a lot of information and nobody knew how to treat it. So we're dealing a little bit with, with racism in the medical field and in the hospital culture, which, I don't need greater minds than I have explained how that works, but we know that this is a thing that happens. Poorer people, brown and black people, often don't get as good quality treatment as, you know, as other people in the hospitals. And Jay finds out that he was, you know, left to die. And so we have a bit of a somber moment there with his struggle and with the PTSD that he is experiencing, and also a little bit of humor, because part of his, you know, COVID symptoms are these very funny hallucinations of some pretty, you know, beautiful, funny characters. So that's sort of one of our big arcs. And in the meantime, Diane is dealing with stuff at home between her and Kurt, and Carmen, our newest addition to the firm, is trying to also find her way and find her place and see how she's going to fit into this you know, ecosystem of the firm. And yeah, it's a lot of episodes of people learning things about themselves. This episode is really about people learning things about themselves that they didn't know they were capable of. It's a pretty great episode.
You know, the one thing is, as you were mentioning all of this, I'm saying to myself, every time I talk to somebody directing an episode of a series, those jobs are not easy to come by. You have to have some sort of connection, and you gotta be familiar with the show. You don't just come on in and just do one episode and then, you know, you get another job. How invested were you with the series before you got this gig, or did you have to play catch up?
No. So I am lucky enough to be a director who loves this show and would watch this show whether I was on it, directing it, or, you know, living on a rock. It's like, you know, I know that the CBS All Access, the Paramount Plus of it all costs a little bit, but like, to me, for this one show, it's worth it. I've been a fan from jump. I did go back and watch it with a different eye, and choose a few episodes to say that had similar, and to look at the way they tell the camera, the way they move the camera, the way they shoot, the way they frame the actors, the speed with which things move, you know, to watch it as a person who's trying to make an episode versus a person who's trying to enjoy an episode is a little bit different. But I luckily, because it's a complicated universe, this the good fight world, who is friends with who used to be partnered with who, and even just like the name of the firm and how many times it's changed over the course. Every season it's a different firm name. So I didn't have to play catch up in that way, but I did have to really, really focus on the way in which the vibe and the style of this show, and how I could best marry that with my own approach of how I wanted to tell this particular story. So, you know, I'm telling my episode story, but it's in the bigger world of like, it needs to look like an episode and feel like an episode of The Good Fight. I can't just like, you know, go off and make, you know, a Fellini film in there in the 56 minutes that I'm allotted.
So title wise or position wise, who's your best friend? Is it the script supervisor? Is it the writers? Because obviously when you're coming in, and even though you are a fan of the show and you watch the show, you know, you still have to be consistent from the previous episodes, as well as the personalities, you know, when you're coming in. So someone's got to tell you like, well, this last episode, you know,
Yeah.
you just gotta come in there, you
Yeah.
know, especially if you deal with emotions.
Yeah, everyone is your best friend because everyone has a piece of information that you need. So like, but on set, in the trenches, on the day-to-day, your script supervisor, my first AD, Sarah Ray, it was my constant confidant, and I literally would not have been able to make this episode without her. And oftentimes, especially on network television, those ADs could direct in a heartbeat if they wanted to, but they don't, because their job is like they, you know, and the DP. So making sure you're in the right world and right vein, your director of photography is a very, very good friend. And then you constantly have that writer, you know, the writer on this, Davida, you know, was on speed dial, and I can say, hey, am I interpreting this wrong? What was your feeling on this? And always going back to the notes you took. You know, I learned a lot about what pre-production and what prep for an episode of what really goes into prepping an episode, which is in my case 8 days of scouting sets and having departmental meetings on Zoom. But really sitting down with the showrunner and listening to every single thing he says about this script, excuse me, and mining it for little ways that you can help that pop out on set. And then getting to set and throwing it all away because you're running out of time and the light is moving. And like, you plan, and then you improv. Like that's basically what my experience of episodic directing is to be extremely well prepared and deeply flexible.
Now, now that you're venturing off in this format, platform, you still haven't given up your day job. Are we still
Oh my
going to
gosh.
see you act again? Or are they going to bring you back, in your
I
character?
mean, I hope so. I miss Monica. I didn't get to be Monica this season. I miss her a lot. I'm never gonna stop acting, and both of these aspects of what I'm doing now are informing each other in a really beautiful way. And I will say that I while shooting the Good Fight, I was also doing a little bit of acting. I'm on an episode of Modern Love that was directed by my dear friend Andrew Rannells, who is one of my co-stars and my co-stars in the Book of Mormon, one of my best friends. And I also worked a little bit on an Apple Plus show as an actor. So you'll be seeing my name in lots of places, in various parts of the breakdowns. And then I'm making theater too. So right now at the Williamstown Theater Festival, making outdoor theater.
Speaking of theater, it's funny because I'll be talking to Andrew pretty soon, and
Oh, nice.
not a lot of theater actors get known because outside of New York, if you don't go to Broadway, you don't know who's who. And for a lot of people, they don't know that you are a Tony Award winner. I recently saw Patina Miller, who's now on Raising Canaan, and she's getting this whole new audience because a lot of people probably didn't see her on Broadway.
Sure.
Or Madam Secretary.
Sure.
So like when you think about, you are a Tony Award winner, what does that signify? Like, it's been years since you've won, does that help open doors for you?
I don't know. I think this is a world where it's so hard to know what led to what. I think hopefully my work speaks to itself. Yes, winning a Tony Award and having been in the Book of Mormon opened lots of doors. The world is also changing. The world of 2010 is not the world of, or 2011 is not the world of 2021 as far as it relates to performers of color and women of color and opportunities that come our way. I think I've found, whether or not people know what I've done or who I am is less important to me, that people respect me in what they are currently working with me in. I never want the thing I did in the past to be the reason why people are engaging with me. Because people want to work with me today because they think I have something to say and something to offer. So I'm constantly, as far as I'm concerned, I'm only as good as my next job, not my past job. So I'm striving to create really amazing collaborations and to continue to grow and to work. And that's evidenced by the fact that I'm starting to direct a little bit. Like, it's hard to learn how to do this. It's hard to put yourself back at square one where you're not sure if you're getting it right or doing it right. And I'm willing to put myself there because I think I have something to say and because I think I have something to offer. And I also know that by being a Black female director in television is not a thing that a lot of other people can say about themselves. And me doing this is going to open doors. I know that some part, and that's not, I don't mean to be like, I'm a trailblazer, but me doing a good job on this episode will allow producers and producers and showrunners to think about other people like me for the next job. You know what I mean? So I'm just here to have fun, work hard, and and hopefully, make my mother proud. That's really like the only thing I need to do.
And that's where we're at. No, there's nothing more we can ask or say about this. Definitely, it's good to see you. It's good to see you behind the scene. Obviously now we need more directors. We need more directors of color. We need more females. I think they've always been there, or at least not enough. Now they just need the visibility.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's about someone saying like, yes, let me put you in the front of this line, because they're there. They're incredible artists making unbelievable work. But like, let's get their name in big lights. Let's see. We want more Avas and Chandas and
they've been there. It's a question of it's about marketability and getting hopefully a team, if not yourself, to promote it. Because like I said before, they've been there. It's just their names haven't been written about, their faces haven't been shown. And then, obviously when people see you on camera, like, oh, okay, at the end of the day, if not everybody knows who Nikki James is, when they see her face, they're like, oh, it's a person of color. Now she can get it. And they look at your credits. Oh, she got it. This is her second gig. Let's see, and I'm sure there's a lot more people because there's a lot more television out there.
That's right.
And so you'll find out down the road. So when they get bigger projects, you'll hear about them. With that said, it's good talking to you. And hopefully we'll see each other in the city somewhere. Obviously, September's around the corner. So as Broadway comes back up and hopefully people can go out again, we'll say, hey, we finally see each other.
We'll elbow bump, but maybe we'll feel comfortable to hug. I would love to.
The fist pump, or we'll do whatever it takes to say hi. So have yourself a great day wherever you're at. Stay safe, and I'll see you later.
See you soon. Thanks.
Bye.